Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of FTB Infinity Evolved Skyblock with myself, Reliikgaming. So, in the last episode then, we spent some time setting ourselves up a simple logistics retrieval system. And this is it just here. Doesn't look like much, but it is going to save us an absolute ton of time. Basically, we can just hit this, right-click this with a crescent hammer. And we've got access to all the stuff that we've linked up so far. And that's basically the storage drawers, the compacting drawers. And then in between episodes, I also added in some of these diamond chests as well. And I didn't mean to actually turn that round. And I've just put some of the sort of basic stuff in there. So we've got some stone in here, we've got some wood in here, got some metal in here, and then just some of the sort of more tech items in there. Isn't much. And there's a whole load of other stuff in all these chests that I haven't populated over here yet, but we'll get there. One of the main items that I haven't got in there yet is the Britannia stuff. And the reason I've not done that is because I'm going to basically need to route the pipes somewhere, and I don't really want them coming across the sky or whatever. So I want to get them underneath, and it's just quite a laborious process. And anyway, this episode then, what we're going to do, well, I want to get the auto-crafting system set up, or at least the start of it. I'm not necessarily going to set loads of stuff up to autocraft yet, because I'm sort of a little bit unsure as yet what I'm going to need to autocraft, and that's kind of mainly on the basis that we've spent quite a lot of time in the last few episodes on the magic mods, and we're just getting back into doing the tech mods again. So once we've done sort of maybe another 1 or 2 episodes, I'll have a clearer idea, but I certainly want to get the system set up so it's there ready and waiting for us. And in order to do that, we are going to need, as always, 1 or 2 things. So let's just go and have a look and see what we actually need. So first of all, if we type in auto, I'm hoping that I can get the auto crafting table or something. I can't remember just off the top of my head what it's called. In fact, let's just type in logistics, because it'll be in there somewhere. Yeah, logistics crafting table. It isn't called auto crafting. Logistics crafting table. So to make that then, this is relatively simple. All we're going to need is some wood, a crafting table, a chest, and one of these stone gears, which is just a wood gear surrounded by cobble, which is just some sticks like this. All standard stuff. And in order to use this, in order to connect it to the system, you need some sort of a pipe. Now, there are 2 pipes that I've found anyway that enable us to do that. If I just type in logistics again, I don't know why I got rid of that, because I made life more difficult for myself. You can either grab, if I can just find it, the crafting logistics pipe. Now, this will basically just allow us to craft 1 item per 1 of those blocks. And it's relatively simple to make. Some redstones, 1 of the basic logistics pipes that we've already got, and another stone gear. Or if we want a bit more flexibility, we can make these chassis pipes. And what chassis pipes allow you to do, and they're not that much more expensive. You've basically got a bit of redstone, some iron, and another basic logistics pipe. That basically allows you to craft more than 1 thing through the same pipe. Now, I'm not sure how that links up yet, whether or not we can do that through just the same single one of the logistics crafting tables. But I'm kind of thinking I like the sound of flexibility. So the Mark 1, if I just hold shift down, actually, it tells you here it can hold 1 module, and then Mark 2 can hold 2 modules, and so on and so forth, right up to, I think there's 5 marks of it, and that can hold, the top one can hold 8 modules. Now, the modules, which if we sort of go and look for crafting module, in fact, let's just type in crafting module because that's going to be easier than looking through all of those. We've basically got different levels of those as well, and I'm not really sure why there's different levels. Like I said, I've not used logistics pipes before, but I think going with the sort of basic simple one, they're a little bit more expensive than the basic setup to do. So we need an iron gear again. Then we have this blank module, so we're going to need some paper, a gold nugget, and some redstone. And then we're going to need some lapis. So it's not massively expensive, or you can just use an iron chipset instead. And we've got the rose red over on the section up here, wherever it's gone, disorientated over here. So I think that's probably what we're going to do then. Set ourselves up the crafting tables with the chassis pipes and the crafting modules. And I'm going to get these set up downstairs just purely because I don't want to start cluttering the upstairs with loads of stuff. Now, the reason why these crafting tables are going to be really, really handy is what they're going to basically allow us to do is something that's very, very, very similar to what you can do in applied energistics once you've got a network set up there, in that you can get your system to talk to your machines, and therefore you can get auto crafting set up which involve machines. So say, for example, at the moment, if I want to grab some signalum, for an example, what I need to do is I need to go and get the relevant item, the copper and silver, and the destabilized redstone. I need to use the pulverizer, the magma crucible, and the fluid transposer in order to get all those bits processed, and then I need to put it all into a crafting table in order to actually get the signalum. And what logistics pipes will allow us to do is to get all those machines to basically talk to each other, such that all we need to do is just basically go up to our requester pipe system up here, give it a right tap with the crescent hammer, and that'll allow us just to basically just select it. So just go in here and show you we've got this craft. Now there's nothing in there, but basically once you've got it set up, it'll be in there. So enough chatter. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go off camera for a sec, and I'm just going to gather together all of the basic ingredients that we need to get started, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we have grabbed a load of bits and pieces. So first of all then, let's make ourselves the crafting table. Like I said, it's just some wood, crafting table, a chest, and one of these stone gears. So let's get those bits made. So there's our crafting table, there is our chest, then as I say, the stone gear is just some sticks. Now I think we're going to need a few of these in these recipes, so let's just grab a few sticks, and then it's just sticks placed. I think it was like this for a wood gear. Stone gear is just that way, and then we can just place this directly in. I think we can shift click this in. So there's our logistics table. And then in order to get the chassis, now I just need to go and actually grab a couple of bits, and we can use our new retrieval system for that. Some bits that I forgot to get. So we're going to need some gold nuggets. So if we order 10 of those, and then we also want some iron ingots. So I think we'll order 20 of those. And we'll just wait for those to come through into our chest. So there's the gold nuggets. And we're just waiting for the remaining 4 of the ingots, which, there we go. Just a little bit slow there. Now that can actually be sped up, the speed with which stuff comes through there. I think by changing the pipes, which might be something that we do once this auto crafting is on, because I'm not sure that the current setup is going to be fast enough to deal with the big auto crafting system. But you know, it was good for a starter, but everything's upgradable. So anyway, we've now got the bits that we need, and the chassis pipe that I want to do is the Mark III, which is just some basic pipes surrounded by iron. And the reason I've chosen that is because we've got quite a lot of iron. So just going to nip over and grab some of the basic pipes that we've got over here. I won't use the requester system for that because that is quite lazy. And there we go. So we've got some basic pipes. So we can just head back over here then, and we can get some of those made, and then we'll get the modules done. So, in fact, let's not make all of those. We'll just make 4 of those for now, I think. No, we won't. We'll just make 2 of them because that's all we've got. I think that'll be enough just for now, just to see how it works. And then we basically need to grab ourselves the crafting module, and as we saw earlier, that's pretty simple as well. Now, like I said, I don't know what the difference is between these yet, but I'm going to have a look up in between episodes just to see that I'm not missing out just by going with the Mark 1s. But we are going to go with the Mark 1s for now because they do start to get sort of increasingly more expensive until you get to this sort of like, nano hopper type thing, which you have to make in the soldering station. So yeah, we will stick with the basic one. So we're going to need another iron gear, some redstone, some rose red, some lapis, and then this item just here. Well, we've grabbed a load of the sugarcane, so we've got some paper, so we should just be able to shift-click that in. And how many of these do we want for now? Let's just make a couple of those for now. I don't think I'm actually going to need more than one straight off. And then we'll make the iron gear. Again, just a couple of bits of wood. Put that in the wrong place. Pop that in there and put some cobblestone around it to get ourselves a stone gear. And then we want some rose red. We want some lapis down the bottom here. We want our blank module in the center. I think it was that. I can't remember the recipe now. Oh no, it was redstone. We don't actually need the nugget there. So bit of redstone, and I've still messed this up. Why are we still messed up? I'm not overly sure actually why that isn't currently working. So I thought I had everything there. Blank module. We've got an iron gear, 2 bits of redstone, and then we want the lapis. Yeah, I don't really know why that wouldn't have worked, to be honest. There's the rose red. The 2 bits of redstone and some lapis. And that doesn't appear to be working. Maybe then maybe this is just another case of this is either the NEI recipes are out of sync, which we now know how to fix, or we just go and grab ourselves an iron chipset. Now, I'm fairly sure. I'm going to try that first because I'm fairly sure that we've got some of these over here. And yes, we have. So we just grab ourselves one iron chipset for now, just to see if this is the issue. It's getting to the point, to be honest, where it just wouldn't be Infinity Skyblock if we didn't have some sort of issue with it. So we have got no more need for the redstone to be in there. So if we take the redstone out, and there we go. So it seems then that you can't use the first recipe. It's only the second recipe that actually works. And before I can get that out, I'm just going to need to drop off some of this stuff that we've got here. And do you know what? Let's just go and pop what we can back into our system. And that should definitely clear some space, which it has. And now we can go and grab that out and we can go and set this system up. So we're going to set it up down here because I don't want to start getting the upstairs cluttered with all this. And this is just a little tester anyway, so I think I will reorganize everything probably in between episodes anyway. So that is our crafting station. And onto the back of that, then we pop the crafting chassis. And then I just need to go back upstairs again because I did forget to grab some of the unrouted pipe, which obviously we're going to need that to connect it all in to the main system. And we have got an absolute stack of those on account of the fact that I kind of didn't really think how much of that I would need. So we'll just pop some of that on there for now, and I think we can probably just go upwards towards the ceiling here and then across and into our system. And of course we don't want that there, we want to get rid of that, and we want to change that for one of the basic pipes, which, yeah, that is why I kept one of those, although clearly didn't think about it at the time. So I'm just kind of making that bit up. We'll pop that back in there. And now that is connected to the system. And then we can put the crafting card into the pipe. Now, I think we'll probably use the crescent hammer for this. Yes, we do. So the crafting module even. So that will go in there. And then what we need to do is we go into the actual crafting table. And we get this little interface here. And what we need to do is we need to actually teach this how to do something. So let's just head on back up here again. Let's just choose something really simple. Actually, I could have made this more simple because I've got some stuff on me that I can make something. And what we'll do then is we'll make some sticks. So it knows now how to make sticks. And then what we need to do, I think that's potentially it. We go into the chassis pipe again. And now if we press this little exclamation mark here and then press the import button, it'll actually import from that crafting table what it is that it can learn. And I think that is just as simple as that. So now if we go back upstairs to the retrieval pipe, we should now have a crafting item. Now I know it's got plenty of wood in the system. Now obviously that is something that you just need to make sure of, that whatever it is that you're trying to craft, that it has got all of the components in the system, otherwise it will fail. And what we'll do then is we'll go on to craft, and there we go. So we can now request some sticks. So let's just request 10 of the sticks. And that will now go away. Obviously, you can't see it working, but it has worked already. So that is pretty quick. And then, of course, the next thing, I mean, you know, making sticks, obviously something that we can do fairly easy, but that was just to serve as an example. The next thing that we can do then is actually grab one of our machines and just see how that works. Now, I'm thinking the pulverizer is probably one of the easier ones to do. So if we was just to grab that out for a sec, I'm hoping that this doesn't lose all its power, and because I'm not going to link it up, well, in fact I probably could link it up because I've got the wire now, but I hadn't intended to. Let's just eat something because I can no longer sprint. And there we go. Right, so let's take our pulverizer downstairs and see if we can actually link that up and how easy that would be. So what we'll do then is we will grab a pulverizer and we will just pop that down here next to the crafting table. Not that it needs the crafting table, because obviously that's for separate things. This is going to require its own logistics chassis, which we will pop on top. Now, obviously, you need to make sure that the input is on the top there, otherwise it's not going to work. Well, I don't think it will do anyway. I don't want to take the chance, to be quite honest. And then get some of the unrouted pipe, and we just route that along to here. And of course, remembering to take out this bit of pipe here that we don't need. and obviously a bit of the ceiling as well. Let's just put that in before I forget. And that mines up so quickly. And then obviously, yeah, put one of the basic pipes into the gap, and then that will all link up. And then we need to grab our crafting module, and we'll grab our crescent hammer as well and just get that in there like so. And then finally, I just want to give this some power because I don't want this to start to run out of power. And just grab some wire, click that onto there. We'll just hook it up here for now. This won't obviously be a permanent solution, as he says for everything, but it'll do for now. And then we're going to need to grab, I'm just going to grab some iron just to make life easier because we've got quite a lot of that. So it'll be good for experimenting with. And where are we? Block of iron. So we're just going to grab some ingots. And all we need to do then is to teach the machine basically the same way as we did with the crafting table on how to make pulverized iron. So we go into the machine and just put a piece of iron in, let that turn into pulverized iron, and then we'll take that out. And then take the crescent hammer again, go into the crafting module. Now, obviously, this time, this isn't linked up to a crafting grid, so you're not going to be able to import anything. In fact, if we press the import button, nothing happens. But what we can do is put our iron ingot in there, and we won't take pulverized tin. We'll take pulverized iron. So now it knows input one iron ingot, and you're going to get one pulverized iron back out of that. And now that that's done, this is now primed and ready to go. So the final thing is just to give it a quick test, and fingers crossed that this works, because usually with me I've forgotten to do something and it all goes wrong from there. So that's iron is back in the system. So right click with the crescent hammer, choose craft, and now we've got our pulverized iron. If we choose 10 of those, request, and let's then just run downstairs quickly and just see if that is working. And we should be able to see if it is, because you'll see the little packages flying about, which it is. There we go. And we'll run all the way back upstairs again. And we'll be able to see if that is working or it has worked. And in fact, it's finished because there are our 10 pulverized iron. Excellent. So we now know that we can auto craft those items. And if we just pop downstairs again, upstairs, downstairs, so many times. And you see it on the pulverizer, I'd actually set this so that we've got the inputs on all sides. Now the reason for that is because with this, obviously, we've got two additional crafting outputs here. Now, obviously, we've got more ingots than that we could turn into their pulverized versions. And rather than having to create a new machine for every time, obviously machines that have got multi-inputs, then you could use those as well. So you could theoretically make the top tier of the chassis, and I think that would give you, certainly for 3 sides, or maybe 4 sides, would give you 24 different options. Basically 4 sides times by 8 crafting modules for the top chassis. So yeah, hopefully there won't become a point where you need more than one machine. And if there was, we could potentially do away with doing this directly into the machine and have some sort of a buffer in between the machines as well. But we'll think about that as and when we come to it. So now that we've got that up and running, what we're going to be able to do is we can grab ourselves another redstone furnace, because I don't want to use the one that's up there at the moment, because that's sort of taking care of our stone requirements. Although, to be fair, we probably don't need any more stone, so I probably could grab that. And what we could actually do is set this so that our ore that we've got upstairs for the from the sifting process comes directly into the redstone furnace, and thereby we've basically got our ore doubling taken care of, and we can request any number of ingots then, or we can request any number of pulverized ingots as well. So I think that's going to be something to do for me during the time between episodes, because we're kind of like running a little bit out of time. I want to try and keep this episode a little bit shorter today, because I do want to go and record some vanilla as well, and I want to try and get these episodes out a little bit quicker, because it's kind of like one of the reasons, although, you know, not to sort of start coming up with excuses, but one of the reasons why it's been quite slow getting stuff out is because it's taken me quite a while to edit stuff, because they've been, you know, like 40-minute episodes, and, you know, I kind of think that's probably a bit too long anyway. But I tend to lose track of time when I'm recording, and yeah, I didn't have the common sense. I don't have the common sense to have a clock in front of me or anything like that. So I'm going to end the episode there, and I hope this has been helpful, and I've certainly enjoyed it. And I'll tell you what, I'm certainly looking forward to actually getting the system a little bit more set up, so that we can just stand here and request some of the more sort of like tedious stuff, or some of the more frequent stuff that we use. And until next time, guys, if you've enjoyed the video, drop us a like, that's always appreciated. But take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.